Hello, this is Paul Cheney, and we're back to make learning easy as possible. We're now ready to tackle our desktop version of our site. We've got the phone done, we've got the tablet done, and now we're ready to add the enhancements for the desktop. Our background here is just flat old white, not very impressive. We're going to use this star field that we see here. It happens to be from StarNet blog. They've got lots of them out here. I'm going to use the fifth one down and save the image as and drop it on my desktop. Once that's done, go over here to my desktop. I check the file size, and I can see that it is 287 KB on the disk. So I'm going to make a note of that, open it up in Photoshop, and then do File, Save for Web. Now we've got lots of different settings here. We've got JPEG high, which is going to give me 69. So from 287 to 69 has great quality. Look at all the twinkly little stars out here. Let me drop it from, well, maximum is 245. That's about where it was. 287 was the original. So that's at 245. Not much of a savings, it's about the same. Still very pretty. Let's drop it down to high. Okay, we're now down to 69K, which is a significant reduction. Still got pretty twinkly stars. But if I go all the way to low, I'm losing just a little bit of the twinkly stars, but look at my size, 14K. That's a huge savings from 287 to start with. We can drop this all the way to the bottom, 1. Compression quality of 1. That's as low as I can go. I still have a star field. And you know what? In this case, this star field is just fine. But look at this thing, 9.6. So if I grab my calculator and I divide the original file size of 287 by my new file size of 9.6, which is basically 10, that gives me a compression of 28 to 1. And I'll tell you what, my phone, or my bandwidth, remember, this isn't going to download to phone, but my bandwidth is going to be much, much faster because this is 1/28 the original size. Let's go ahead and save that. Put it out here on the desktop as stars and close it. All right. So here's our HTML5 start file. We have an images folder. Let's go ahead and drag stars into there. Go back to Dreamweaver. And in the body tag, background, image, browse, desktop, start, images, stars. Once again, we're not specifying any sort of repeat, so it should automatically repeat throughout the entire page. Hit refresh. There it is. Now as I make my page skinnier, notice that my page appears to slide across the stars. The stars are fixed. They're not moving, but the page is moving. If you want that effect, you're done. If you don't care for that effect and you want something different, then you can come back here and add background-position and tell it to be centered. Now when we hit refresh, notice that the stars appear to scale or move with the page. So there's a second way to add that effect. All right, let's push this down away from the top because I want to add some more stuff up there. So let's go back. This time we're talking to the wrapper. Remember, the wrapper lives inside the body tag. And let's give it padding 125 pixels at the top, none to the right, none to the left, or sorry, 140 at the bottom and none to the left. There we go. So before we refresh, let me show you what that does. See how my footer appears to be stuck to the bottom of my page? I can't scroll down anymore, and I can't scroll up. But once I add the margin at the top and bottom correctly and refresh, I now have a gap here as well as a gap here. So my page appears to float on the stars and not be stuck up here. All right. Next thing we're going to do is round these corners off. Now, it's kind of hard to see because that is got a nice starry pattern. So let me temporarily go to the body, and I'm just going to misspell this so it doesn't work. And now I can very clearly see my corners. What I want to do is round those top two corners. I don't want to round the bottom. I'm going to do something else with that. I just want to round the top. So let me go into my code here. We're going to look at the header. And I'm going to put a top left radius of 10 and a top right radius of 10. We saw these in an earlier video. You can see the black has the radius, but look at that little tiny triangle of brown. What we're seeing is the head. Remember the header lives inside the container, and the container has a background color. If we can find it here. The container has a background color of this gold color, so that's what we're seeing. So the container also needs to have its borders curved at the same value. So let's come back to our desktop and round the corners, all four of the corners of that. It's not going to matter because it's behind the footer. And now we've got a corner there and a corner there, and we don't have, oh, we do. The footer's rounded, but we'll fix the footer here in a minute. All right, back to here. We can now fix our spelling. And our star field is in place, and our corners are rounded.